That's true. Or you could be doing vaudeville.
Vaudeville.
That's right. Well, I guess there's only one thing to do from this point. 5,
Oh, 4,
3,
2,
and 1.
1.
Hello world, here's a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames, messieurs, bienvenue, welcome to the happy hour.
Welcome back, happy hour listeners. It's August, août, as they say in Quebec and France, I suppose. My name's David Auger. I'm at Glaucus123 on X. Metal Dave on Blue Sky, and Metal Dave also on Metal Dave 01 on Threads. Joined as always by Beth.
Hello. I'm at HIBERHOIT on Twitter and Blue Sky.
And Veronica.
Yeah. I'm at CHILE Pepper at bluesky.social. I don't know what. I'm still on Twitter for the time being because there's so few people on Blue Sky. But I'm also meeting new people.
Yeah, no, it's nice. Blue Sky is kind of nice right now because nobody's on it. It's incredible. Very nice, normal people are on there. No bots.
I'm going to send you an article that I read last night, Dave.
Is it about how problematic Blue Sky is?
No. It's about the rebranding and Elon and all of that stuff and what he did to Twitter.
Yeah, it sucks.
You know, and
you see, he got his light taken down.
In the early days of Twitter, it was great. It was great going on there and talking to people and watching hockey together, and then politics.
One of the best things that Jack Dorsey did for Twitter was that he banned political ads on Twitter. You remember when that happened? It's like, damn,
yeah, I do.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
It kind of ebbed the flow there. But speaking of hockey, we're the Happy Hour at Happy Hour on X. Happy Hour Pod on Instagram and Threads, I suppose, which won't make a lot of sense on Threads. Happy Hour Pod.
Yeah.
But
I abandoned Threads.
YouTube.com.
My account so that nobody would steal my name.
/Happy Hour and happyhour.com. I have two things to mention about the Habs. One, the last RFA was signed with Jesse Ylonen for a 1-year deal. Just 1 year for Jesse Ylonen. I have a feeling that we're not going to see a whole lot of him in the big club. He might be a Laval regular, just given with how many people are going to be. Yeah. Just given with how many people are, going to be playing for the Habs.
Yeah.
The only other thing I have to mention is the Hlinka Cup that Lane Hutson's playing in. Apparently, Lane Hutson's making a goddamn name for himself.
Oh, I didn't realize he
Did you
was
see
in it.
that goal?
Oh yeah.
I have not seen anything.
You know he plays defense.
Oy, oy. He makes a fool out of 3 people.
Oh yeah, he plays defense, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not a forward. He plays defense. So that's why when I saw them at the development camp, it was him. I think it was him and Reinbacher were paired together. Oh boy, they knew how to play the game quite well. Aside from that, very little Habs news as the offseason drags on. I'm not even entirely sure when training camp starts, aside from September, perhaps.
Yeah, sometime in September.
Yeah,
I know.
always.
I know we got the announcement saying that the Habs are going to be the rookie tournaments taking place in Buffalo again, and the Habs are going to that again. There are dates for that. I guess I can dig those up when I get a second, actually.
Yeah.
Where is that happening?
I mean, until then, and until training camp and cuts happen, like, it's just going to be people arguing about who's going to get cut, and then once those cuts happen, it's going to be people complaining about who did get cut and who wasn't cut and who wasn't sent to Laval, and it's like, you're waiting for the pot to boil over.
Yeah, it's gonna be and also it's September 15th is the start of the rookie camp, or the prospects challenge, I should call it, over in Buffalo. Always a good time. Cheap, $10-15 to watch a game. If you're in the area, go for it. Get to watch a lot of the guys play.
Buffalo.
What's that?
Buffalo gets a hard time, don't they?
Yeah, define hard time.
Well, I don't know, like, like,
Yeah, it sucks.
Everybody I know that has lived in Buffalo has loved it.
yeah,
That's also another weird thing about it. Me, I hate driving there because it's so far.
yeah.
And for those that don't know, Western New York is like, I don't know. How do you think driving on the moon is like? Boring.
I mean, possible. We've driven in Montreal.
Yeah, that's way more entertaining.
Before.
Way more entertaining.
Take the wrong tunnel.
I mean, that sucks, but it's like, okay, it's like, oh, look, we just passed Utica. The next thing I can look forward to is Rochester. Great, awesome. David Bowie was arrested there once.
Yeah.
On marijuana possession or something.
I mean, I've
They
also
were with the
driven through
Stones.
Iowa. I mean, I've
Mhm.
driven through Iowa. I've driven to Iowa multiple times. It's corn and cats.
Yeah, there's not even
Once-
corn.
Yeah.
It's just
I
Flat.
thought that was Idaho.
blah. Sucks.
There's no Idaho's potatoes.
One of
We
the
could
good
probably also
things.
grow corn there.
One
I
of the
mean, I've
good
also driven
things.
to Illinois, which is just flat. Like I was amazed when I drove from like Peoria, Illinois to Chicago, and like it was just like the freeway was just straight for so long. I was like, "Where are the curves at?" And they're like, "There's nothing to curve around.
No,
We could just go straight."
that's like between Saskatoon and Regina, and Edmonton and no, Calgary and Red Deer. It's just a straight line.
That
You
is
just put it on the cruise
a
control.
that's a Department of Transportation's dream.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Do you know how easy it is to drain this road? We can do whatever we want. Nobody's here. But anyway, yeah. So that's it. Yeah, Jesse Ilonen, 1-year contract. Lane Hutson's tearing it up over in Europe.
Yeah, that was impressive. That was exciting.
Oh yeah, and that's not like
that
that.
was not a fluke.
And that's not like his only highlight like play either. He's been very smart, very just up there with it. Like it's to the point where it's like if the kid doesn't make Laval, it's either an age thing or he like seriously messed up, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, how
Yeah.
old is Lane Hudson?
He's in college.
What? Oh, he's 19. Ooh, I didn't realize he was that young. Whoops. Oh, yeah, he was only drafted last year. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
should have remembered that.
He just got here.
Oopsie. 62nd overall. 62. Chaussee. There
You
he
think
is.
they'll give him a look at all?
Whomst?
Ylönen.
Oh, Ilan, I mean, depending on how well the new doctors don't fuck up the team this year, I think Ilanen's going to be in Laval for a while or possibly traded. But it all depends. How's Newhook going to look? Is Monahan going to stay healthy, you know?
Yeah.
It's really going to be an
It-
interesting thing. I think an even more interesting question is how much leeway does Martin St. Louis have with the fan base? I really wonder if this is going to be the year where it's like we don't do good, which we can't expect to. You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
people are going to be like, "Oh, this is Martin's problem now." It's like I don't know, man. Unless something very drastic happens, I think Martin's here for a while. Because isn't his contract up next year?
Didn't he just get it renewed?
Was it 3 years and then this is the third year, or is it 5? And I'm
No,
forgetting.
he just got it renewed. Didn't he? Was it this summer or last summer? Oh my God.
I think it was
Martin
last
St. Louis.
summer. I don't recall honestly.
I think it was a 3-year.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at Cole Caulfield's Instagram story, and there's somebody in it that I recognize, but I also am like, I can't decide if it's Jeff. It's probably Jeff. But I can't decide if it's Jeff or if it's Phil. I think it's Jeff. The notes
Petrie?
for Phil. Yes. Cole and Nick are on vacation together. I'm pretty sure it's Jeff.
Oh my God.
They're on vacation. They're in the Bahamas. They all have matching outfits.
How cute.
That's cute.
Yeah.
It is a 3-year contract for St. Louis until 2025. So
Right.
I forgot. And so he did sign it last year, June of last year. So that was before the draft.
Right.
So this is it. So this is his first contract year. Okay. So that's like kind of adds a little bit of emphasis. I really, Really wonder how he's going to play it this time. Gonna be
Can
really
you hear the
interesting.
wind in the microphone?
What's that?
The fan?
Nope.
Nope.
Can't hear you, though.
You can't hear me?
Well, yeah, because you're away from it.
Well, I can't be right on top of it.
No, we're just saying if you back away from the mic and then to fan yourself and speak, we can't hear you. So you have to
Yep.
come back to the mic to
Can
talk.
you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
My
yeah.
gloves are making me so hot.
Yeah. I mean, that's the price of fame. Vaudeville is it's a fierce
I'll let everybody guess why I'm wearing
career.
gloves.
Breakfast at
Which Disney
Tiffany's.
princess is Veronica going to
Minnie Mouse.
be?
That's funny. Yeah, so that's it. Nothing else happened at all across the entire league, which is nice.
Actually, no. I have a thing. It's not Habs related, but it's weird
Uh-oh.
and it's hockey related.
Uh-oh.
So, I discovered this via Robin Flynn, who, is one, I actually followed her on TikTok before I followed her on Twitter. She lives in Montreal, and she does like
She's got
hockey
that Saturday
party-
morning show on
Yeah.
TSN 690.
Yeah. She's wonderful. I adore her.
Yeah.
And like I followed her for something other than hockey, and then I think she mentioned something, and then I saw her on Twitter, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But she's shared this earlier. It's a news release. Retired Stanley Cup champions Patrick Sharp, Dave Bolland, Freddie Modin, and Chris Draper signed with PBX Pickleball.
Oh, that's cute.
So, they are joining longtime NHL player, executive, and PBX co-founder Paul Holmgren to play professional pickleball
Oh my God.
together.
How fun.
Pickleball is getting out of hand, in my
I
opinion.
never
never
played
played it,
it.
I refuse
It
to.
seems like a rich white people thing.
That's
Which
exactly what
I'm
it
not
is.
rich or white.
The
so,
white shirt and the white shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I don't
it's
play
like
tennis. I don't play badminton.
it's like
I love
cheap
badminton.
water polo.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I played volleyball in PE. I get hit in the face. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the extent of my net.
Your athletic career.
Yeah. I was actually okay at basketball in like middle school, but I didn't like pursue it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So Robin Flynn mentioned this.
Robin Flynn. I will tag her in the Twitter because it's
Awesome.
Twitter.
I remember Robin Flynn. I met her
yeah,
once.
I'm never calling it X.
Yeah.
Never.
Just, I mean, honestly,
Absolutely
no. As you were saying before, my days on there are numbered,
Yeah.
and it's just it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Like it's just like it's kind of like his masses are, oh, whatever he does is so. I'm like, he took your app, he turned it to shit. It works like shit.
He
He
doesn't.
let back the Nazis. He let back Kanye, and now he's making you pay, and you're giving him your money, and all you're getting back is a blue check and
He
a
doesn't.
shitty
He
logo.
does things on whims. Like it's pure. Like, oh, I have this idea. I'm going to do it immediately.
I
He
think it
does
was
not
terrible
consult
to do
anyone.
that.
He doesn't think anything through.
No.
I mean, like last week, he got in trouble with the police in San Francisco because he took the Twitter sign down without a permit. And then this week, he got his X sign taken down because it was super bright and it was
And he did
strobing
not have a permit.
into rent-controlled apartments where a lot of elderly people live. And I mean, it was a hazard even if you weren't in the apartments, if you were just walking down the street.
He's a lunatic.
I think that lasted all of like 5 days. I don't remember, but like
The best thing that could happen for everybody is that he has a heart attack and dies, because that guy fucking sucks. He
'Cause
sucks.
He lives to have everybody talking about him.
Oh yeah,
That's
oh,
why
yeah.
he does all this shit.
yeah, just like what
And
we're
we-
doing.
It's
And
funny.
if there's attention somewhere else right now, so there's going to be another stunt.
Yeah. Like, and I used to be, I mean, this is years ago, but I used to be one of those people that was like, I aspired to own a Tesla because I was like, oh, this is a great concept.
Oh yeah,
Or,
me too.
"Oh,
I was like, damn,
I
what a
aspired-
great idea. And then
I
he
aspired to own a Tesla.
fucked it.
And lately I've been seeing so many more on the road. I think part of it is like I kind of live in an area where there like people have a little bit of more money. Like I live in like a predominantly white, like semi-wealthy-ish area. I'm still not white or wealthy, but I see so many more Teslas on the road, and every time I see one, I'm like, how embarrassing!
Oh yeah,
How
it's awful.
embarrassing! I would sell it as soon as I could if I had one.
100% of the people that I know that wanted a Tesla will never buy a Tesla.
Oh no.
It's
Any
exactly-
other
100%
EV
of
because
people that I know.
other electronic vehicles now exist.
Exactly.
And it's so crazy, and I'm sure you can find the same stuff on tons of other cars. But every once in a while, you have like a mechanic like looking at a Tesla, and he's like, "Who put this thing together?" Because there's like just like for example, the panels are spaced way too far apart compared to like other cars. Like the little space in between each panel of the car. Somebody put like a quarter through one of them. He's like, "Well, that's not right." And
Oh.
just stuff, just
Yeah.
weird, stupid, silly, minor things like that. That car manufacturers that have been around for 100 years
Yeah.
figured that out.
Yeah.
But
And
it
a major problem of his, not personally, because we can't like even open that box. Professionally, he's a megalomaniac and he's a micromanager.
oh yeah,
And he's just like, like Nixon. I was listening to this podcast yesterday, like Nixon, like Trump, like he surrounds himself with people who agree with him and worship him and praise him. But all of the rest of the good people left. So
And he
like,
reminds me of just,
he's
like,
never
the
going to get
dumbest
accomplish
shit.
anything properly.
No.
He cares about the dumbest things instead of like things that are actually going to work or like help him be successful.
A good leader, everybody, if everybody beneath that leader is doing a good job, that's a good leader.
People think that they have money and that they're smart because they have money. I'm like, that's you. I'm like, you inherited that. You didn't make that money. Also, you exploited people for that money as well. Or
So
money-
Dave,
Yeah. I don't know. It's just dumb.
Dave, you were talking about Albany.
I don't remember
And-
what I was talking about Albany.
We were talking about the route to Buffalo.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm a very succinct person. You don't need any other explanation than that. It sucks. I
I'm gonna
hate
leap in
going to
right now.
Buffalo. Hate going to
I'm gonna-
Buffalo.
Leap in right now with an anecdote. That can also be my what are you watching? I watched not The Vow, but the Nexium, the other one.
Oh, was
There's
that on
two-
HBO or not? Because The Vow is
Yes.
on HBO.
I can't remember where I watched it, but it's the other one. There's one called The Vow. There's another one that I can't remember what it's called.
How
On My Favorite Murder?
How long is it?
4 episodes.
All right. Well, The Vow is like 20. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
yeah,
if you want like the nitty gritty of what happened, watch The Vow because it is so good. But yeah, Nexium, my backyard, Clifton Park.
Apparently, Georgia and Karen were talking about it, and they said that this one was much better. So I hadn't gotten to see The Vow yet. So I said, okay, I'm just going to go and watch the other one because they said this one, there's all kinds of context in here that they didn't include in the first one. And anyway, it blew me away. But I was looking this stuff up because like they were talking about the cult and all that stuff, and I'm just like, this really sounds familiar. And like part of the design is you prey on the weak, the vulnerable, the uneducated. Then you convince them that you're the richest man in the world. You're the smartest man in the world. And
The
then
thing-
you alienate them from other people. And no, you're like, we're us and they're them, that kind of thing. And it's like a cult. And it's just like, wow, like that mega is a genuine cult.
The the thing about Nexium too was that that guy was pulling celebrities. That guy was pulling
Yeah.
like B-list celebrities. The guy, the leader of the cult, somehow wrangled his way into meeting the Dalai Lama, for fuck's sake. Like,
Yeah.
like actual sit down conversation with the Dalai Lama. And he was going around, having girls prostrate themselves before him. It's like, what the hell's going on here? That guy
so-
was a manipulative asshole to the very end. And I am shocked that they would say that there was more context in the other documentary, because I mean, you got
No, more important details, because I think that probably if you've got 20 hours of stuff, it's too much stuff.
well, I don't know, because there was a lot going on. I think maybe The Vow too. I mean, if HBO put it together, and it's pretty heavily. Well, I mean, they went from both perspectives too. They had like the perspective of the people
they did that too.
like of the folks that were like, okay, we see that something's wrong and I have to talk to someone about it. And this one person was like, you know what? I think you're right. It is kind of weird that we just honor this guy and we don't get paid anything for 10 years. It's so weird. It's like, no fucking shit, lady. Oh my
No,
God.
well, it's just like that cult movie that I told you about, that University of Sarah Lawrence University,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
That cult. It is absolutely astonishing what he got these people to do. Bark like dogs.
oh yeah.
And do all these, like, and they would do anything. And if they upset him, they would cry and throw themselves on the ground. Grown people.
Yeah.
So, and it's just like I was looking at it because like I could not understand what I was watching and what they were falling for and what they were. But it's just like they pick them out, right? They know who to pick on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there
But
it
that
is,
guy was a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to repeat one of the things that he said on there. It's the most appalling thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, so we're talking about Nexium, which is a sex cult that came about in the late 2000s, early 2010s in the Albany area. Almost had like worldwide reach because, like I said, actors, some blue blood royalty were part of the cult. And one of the higher up royals was like, what the fuck is my daughter doing? And she's like, what are you doing? And that was like a whole other spin on it. Because I have no other Habs news. I can talk about what I've been watching.
Okay, well, I didn't really talk about what I was watching, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. What have I been watching? Jesus, I don't like Peaky Blinders.
You don't have to.
I started it. I
Oh,
actually
fire.
started it, and it was first frame, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, you see the first frame and you're like, this looks like a music video. It's like, nope, can't watch that.
Even for Tom Hardy.
Even for Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy
Even for Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy is great in it too.
Not even for Tom Hardy.
Now, what's a great tie-in? What we can't actually talk about, Barbenheimer.
I still haven't gone. I'm
I-
sorry.
Max went to see Barbie on Friday night with his friends,
Good.
and he called me immediately after, and he's like, best movie I've seen. He's like, the best movie I've seen, the male lead, Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
I think that was his best performance of his career.
he was incredible. Everybody in that movie was astounding. Absolutely. Barbie was great. I loved every minute of that movie, frankly.
That's exactly what he said.
It's one of the best weekends of movies, like, I don't know, ever, practically. You can put it on par with fucking Endgame of Marvel, because that was a great weekend for movies too, and other nonsense like that. But I've been reading articles about
Barbie is
it
such
too.
Eye candy.
What's that?
It's such eye candy, the Barbie movie.
Oh, there's a lot there, man. That candy has quite a center. Just wait till you watch it, because it is incredible. And I want to work at Will Ferrell's Mattel, because it is so ludicrously ridiculous that I'm so enamored with it. It's so great. I love it. And then Oppenheimer was also very good.
And what I don't want to. I saw a tweet from Seth Rogen saying, "Have an edible and then watch this movie." And then somebody else said, "I've seen it twice, and I would really advise against doing that."
What, an edible for Oppenheimer?
And yeah,
I mean, you could, or you
You-
could not.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Did
You'd
you
rather
hear
take
about
the edible for Barbie, frankly, I'd say.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about how the soundtrack for Oppenheimer, the theme, it has so many like tempo and time signature changes that they didn't think that they were gonna have to piece it together because of how complicated it was, and all the musicians were like, fuck that shit. And so they practiced their nuts off in order to be able to play it all in one take. And then being able to do that like helped add to like the not suspense, but just like the feeling that the composer wanted to invoke anyway with the music, like with like the urgency and the building intensity and everything, because they played it all in one take instead of having to piece it together.
I was going to say, was it Hans Zimmer? No, it was a Ludwig Göransson, who I've never heard of when it comes to composing movies.
I mean, we can't all be
Sounds
Hans
Swedish.
Zimmer.
Sounds Swedish.
Yes, I don't know, he's very much Swedish. Oh, he also did the music for Tenet. All right, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
Nice.
Oh, he's 38. Good for him.
I love music so much, and like there are songs like I wish like I hear and I'm like I wish I could have composed that, or like wow, how does make come with that? Like I know I do not have composer brain. Like I was good friends with somebody in high school who went on to be a composition major in college.
Oh, nice.
And like he makes insane stuff. Like it's great. It's so good. But I'm like, how do you like I know I have a weird brain and I think weird things, but I'm like, how do you and I can hear music in weird ways. Like I can have 3 songs going at a time in my head kind of thing. But like how do you hear music that doesn't exist outside of your head yet? Like that's bonkers to me, and I'm jealous of people who can do that, because like that's not something that I'll ever experience in my life.
Are you one of those thinkers that can't make pictures in your head?
Oh no, I can do that.
Okay.
If I picture an apple, I can see like a real apple in my head right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
But
Gotcha.
like I cannot like I don't make up music. Like it's I mean like I even have friends like who've been in bands and stuff. Like I've been in a band before, and it was just like I could do like the lyrics part, but like being like, oh, like it'll go with this tune, or like this song is stuck in my head, or this tune, this sound, whatever's stuck in my head, and I'm gonna make it into a song. Like I've never been able to do that. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. So if
Pretty
anybody-
wild.
Photographic
Anybody can do
memory.
that, I'm jealous. Like, because that sounds really cool. Like, just to
I used
make
to.
it music.
And
When I
Mozart
was
could do it at 12.
Yeah.
Freaking nutcase. Jesus. That's another good movie, Amadeus. I gotta rewatch that sometime.
Amadeus. I always picture there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer's singing that, and that's what I always think of when I hear that song.
Oh yeah.
don't know.
Oh my god. Skype is killing me right now. All right. Yeah, no, it's all good. Trying to think what else I've watched.
I got into I got the audiobook called Rise and Fail. Oh, I can't remember what the title is, but it's written by Carol Leonnig of the Washington Post. She's a Pulitzer Prize winner, and it is about the rise and fall of the Secret Service.
All right. Nice.
And I heard it came out earlier this year, and when she was doing the press tour, she talked mostly the section about that at the end, the Secret Service with Trump, which was a shit show. But it's like the whole history of this the Secret Service, and I got a bunch of history along the way there that I didn't know about. But you know, starting with Abe Lincoln, and then McKinley, and then the last one. It was after that one that they unofficially created a Secret Service. But so yeah, then she goes through each of the presidencies, and not so much the presidencies, but as they relate to the activities with the Secret Service and different anecdotes. And it's not like the way that what she was talking about sounded so interesting to me. I thought it's probably a dry read, but I'm gonna get it. So I got it, and it is a beautiful. It's so like she's telling a story, like she's just telling like she's like she's telling a story, and so it's extremely digestible, very informative. There's lots of history in it. She's got dirt on Bill Clinton.
That's not surprising.
Like there's stuff in that book that I was just like, what? Oh my God. And John Kennedy, he would give the Secret Service a slip. He'd disappear, and they'd be like, so for 4 hours a night, he had no idea where the president of the United States was.
I mean,
Speaking of him, I've been learning. I know people say shitty things about TikTok, but I learned things on TikTok, and
Fuck.
I did not. People. I don't know. People hate on anything, and there,
Yeah.
of course, there are definitely bad things on TikTok, but there's bad things at Walmart. I mean, anyway,
Yeah.
I think this just goes to show like how they like to make things look pretty in American history or whatever. I had no idea how shitty of a person Jackie O was. Like she was super racist.
oh,
yeah.
Like I had no, because all you ever hear people talk about is how nice she was and how she was a fashion icon, all this other stuff, and I had never looked into it or whatever.
Oh
'cause I
no,
just-
she was a catty
I didn't
ow.
really care, but like I've just so there's this meme on TikTok about Jackie Kennedy eating sheet metal. it's I cannot explain it to you. It's just like somebody like looked at her and her teeth, and they were like, she looks like she eats sheet metal, and it like just went from there. But somebody on TikTok was like, like what did this woman do to you? Like asking like what did this woman do that like people are so mean to her? And somebody like stitched it and was like, let me tell you a list.
let me tell the ways.
Like one of the most notable being that this woman, this black woman, and I forget her name, but this apparently very well known at the time black woman who was a dressmaker made Jackie O's wedding dress last minute, like within a week or something, because something happened to the original dress that Jackie O wanted from like this French dressmaker. And the woman went to go deliver it to the hotel that Jackie was staying in before her wedding, and Jackie was like, oh no, you need to come in through the back, deliver it through the back. Because she didn't want people to know that this black woman had made her dress for her. She wanted to give the impression that like some like fancy French designer had made it for her.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I hate that I'm forgetting the name of the woman.
I can't think
Post
of
it in the tweet thread or whatever when we post the episode. And like Jackie ended up, I think, paying the woman's income taxes
And low.
Yes. And whatever, but like she apparently like there's other things that like Jackie O did. And it's just like I've learned so much stuff on TikTok. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen the hockey book talk drama that's been going on. That's been crazy. I'm not on book talk. But
what is book talk?
It's TikTok. TikTok's about books. So like there's hockey talk, book talk.
But it's within TikTok.
It's like saying
a
hockey
side of
Twitter.
TikTok.
Yeah, subfolder.
Yeah. So it's like people who post about hockey and books and whatever.
Right.
I'm not going to rehash all of it because it's a lot. But if you get bored and you want to look at some drama, it has to do with the Wenbergs and the Seattle Kraken. It's been bonkers. But anyway, I learned a lot of stuff on TikTok. That's what I meant to say. And I don't remember how I started talking about Jackie O. Oh, because you said something about the Kennedys. But yeah, it's just nuts. Like it's also it goes back to like how they told us in like elementary school that like, oh, Rosa Parks wanted to sit down because she was tired on the bus or whatever.
Oh my
Not that she
God.
was a long-term career activist for a civil rights activist or whatever. Like this was a planned thing, like not where she just was like, I'm tired of this shit, I'm gonna sit my black ass down kind of thing. I mean, that's not something that I learned until I think late middle school, early high school, instead of her just being tired and wanting to sit down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Things pretty here is nuts.
Sunny Hostin was saying the other day on the other day. I always say the other day. It was like 2 years ago, that something like that, that she didn't learn about Tulsa until college.
Well,
Yeah.
I can see that.
How is that possible?
I mean, social studies in the U.S. of A. is all about the Revolution, Civil War, World War One, World War Two. There's a whole lot between the Civil War and World War One, and then there's a whole lot between, like, say, let's see, if I was in middle school, we're talking World War Two and Desert Storm. You know,
Yeah.
There's a whole lot between there. Like we touch on Martin Luther King, and then we keep going, and that's it.
Like I got really lucky. At different, mostly in high school, I had social studies and history teachers who were very, I mean, now today they would be called woke, but they were teachers who were like, I know I teach a diverse group of students. There's so much more that should be included that is not, and they would find ways to work things in. Like I had a teacher who he spent an entire day dedicated to Emmett Till, like, because most of the time Emmett Till was like a small paragraph in our books. He spent an entire day in Emmett Till, and like showed us pictures. We were 16 at the time. It wasn't where we were like 13 years old and he was like, here, look at this kind of thing. But like, I mean, he warned us, whatever. We had, like, if we wanted to, like, we had the opportunity to not look and stuff like that. But he, and a lot of the other history teachers were like, there's so much that is not covered that you need to know, or that you should know, you have the right to know, kind of thing. Which I was very appreciative of. And like, there's still stuff that I'm learning almost 2 decades later. But it's just, yeah, like, it's like Dave said, like, and especially if you live in one of the original 13 colonies, it's so much Revolutionary War and Civil War just shoved down your throats from the second you get into kindergarten until the second that you graduate.
Well, no reason for that. Puritan work ethic, part of it. Yeah. What else is there with that? Because that's a big part of it. You know, growing up on the East Coast, we're the oldest part of the United States, essentially.
We've been here forever.
And
like,
yeah, that is the case. Though we are at our time.
Okay.
Which is great. It's fine. It's cool. It's awesome. I will be in Toronto this weekend for the first time in my life.
Oh my god, you have to. I will send you a list of places to eat.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I think.
You don't have to. I'm not gonna like hold you at gunpoint and be like, Dave,
I was in Toronto for approximately 3 or 4 hours back in 2005.
But I mean, that was like late at night.
Iron Maiden.
You have to go to Chinatown. My God, cool. It's Chinatown and the art district together. The food is amazing. The art is amazing. You also need to go to, I'll just send you a list. There's so many places. Oh my God. Toronto is so, I mean, like, fuck the lease always, but Toronto is so fun.
I think the only thing we're going to do is the festival and maybe the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Hockey Hall of Fame is good. Also, I mean, you can go Graffiti Alley. You can go to Graffiti Alley in like an hour. Like,
maybe. Depends on where we are.
Yeah, definitely. Hockey Hall of Fame is like $20-$30. It's totally worth it. It's great.
Yep.
And it's in a really big mall. And I know you like a mall.
Malls are cool.
But yeah.
We gotta go.
Yeah, that's it. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll be back next week
Bye.
at some point. Bye. Bye.